The goal of my design was 1. Be low cost, 2. Quick and easy assembly, and 3. Make efficient use of the space. After a couple of videos I got my idea for a design. If you're interested, I've linked some of those videos in the description below. Having spent time looking at awesome car builds, it was time for me to do it myself. I got 3 cardboard boxes and started cutting them to the size of my trunk. This gave me a visual idea of what I was trying to build. Once this was done, I bought 18mm plywood and I could start the next phase. The first step is making your base frame. I cut the required pieces, let the wood glue dry and screwed in screws for additional strength. Now the base plate was done, or so I thought. I had made a small error. The base frame didn't seem to fully align with my measurements, which is why the back door wouldn't close properly and it kept hitting the frame. I remeasured and cut off a section at the corner. After doing this a couple of times, I managed to make it fit. Now that the base frame was made, I decided to give it its first oil layer. This is optional, but as I tend to be rough with my stuff, I like to protect it to make it more durable. When the oil was drying, it was time to start on the wooden drawers. The idea was that those drawers would seamlessly fit inside the base frame and blend with the design. However, the measurements did not seem to add up, and after this I thought of one practical issue. The drawers are heavy and impractical to take out. Next up was a bed extension. I had to make something that was safe while driving and also easily removable. That's why I opted to use hinges. They are permanently secured in the bed extension. To secure it to the base frame, I used bolts that are screwed into T-nuts that I've hammered into the base frame. Now the bed extension holds itself by a piece of wood in the front and with bolts at the back into the base frame. Using a pocket wrench, I can tighten the bolts. The bed section isn't long enough, so I had to make a head extension. I did this by attaching the extra piece of wood with a piano hinge. This lets me easily fold it in when we need the front seats while driving. To give it support, I've attached the front end of it with paracord to the headrest. The big benefit of having this paracord set up is that I don't compromise the room under it with, for example, a support beam. I wasn't happy with how the wooden drawers turned out. I still wanted a table for cooking, so I deconstructed the wooden drawers and used that wood to build a table. With paracord as handles, they're all good to go. In terms of safety, I've secured the base frame with turnbuckles on all 4 corners. They're attached to the cargo tie-down points. Lastly, I removed the drawer support that I wasn't using anymore. I patched up any open holes and put a final layer of oil on the wood. That was the building phase. When on the road, we have our bed extension already in place. This way we can easily make up the bed. We do this by first putting down a rug, then a foam mattress, followed by our camping mattresses. You could of course opt for a different setup, like a big 2-person mattress. We had our camping mattresses anyway, so we wanted to use them, and during the day we can easily store everything into a bag. One thing to be mindful of when sleeping in your car is ventilation. It can get very humid. This happened on our first few nights, which is why we bought ourselves some mesh netting to put over the windows. This allows us to wind down the window without the risk of getting bugs inside. The only downside of this setup right now is that it can't be used when it rains. For that we would need rain guards, which we do not have yet. For cooking we have a butane camp stove. We place it on a fold-out table or just on the ground. To get water we have a 20-liter water container. When we drive it's behind the passenger seat, and if we use it, it's on the bed extension. With this design we have noticed there's a ton of storage. Those wooden drawers have made room for two 35-liter underbed storage boxes. The big advantage of these boxes is that they can easily be taken out. We use one for food and the other one for kitchen stuff. Besides these two boxes, we have storage room next to the base frame on both sides, under the bed extension, and space behind the front seats. How much did the whole setup cost? In terms of building material, it totaled 380 New Zealand dollars. In addition, we bought specific camping gear, which totaled around 200 New Zealand dollars. I was fortunate to be able to borrow all the tools I needed, so that didn't cost me anything. There you have it, a process of transforming our station wagon into a place where we can sleep. I think we managed to get a cheap design for what we get in return. So far we have been on multiple trips and it shows it can bring you to wonderful places.